All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the second Build Your Brand webinar of 2020. Today, we are joined by Kelsey Grassman and Jason Budzik of 2060 Digital to talk about social media. And I'm going to start with a little bit of housekeeping. Your phones will be muted throughout the webinar, but if you have a question, you can type it into the question box, and we'll have a short Q&A at the end of the presentation. If you don't already know, my name is Jess Larkin, and I'm the Marketing Communication Specialist at Cornerstone. My information is right there on the screen, so if you'd like to get in contact with me, I can help you flesh out ideas for refreshing your brand. So feel free to call or email. And who loves cash? I sure do. Cornerstone's 2021 Agent Incentive Program rewards you for your group and individual sales. The top 20 qualifiers will receive cash prizes up to $5,000, plus one lucky qualifier is going to win a weekend getaway. So register for that online at www.crnstone.com/2021-incentive. And while you're out there, check out our new website. We're very excited to share the launch of our brand new Cornerstone website and an update to our client referral program. So check those out on the new website, the same domain at www.crnstone.com. All right, let's go ahead and get started with talking about social media. I'm going to hand it over to Kelsey Grassman. Kelsey, can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
All right, I just handed it off to you, and you can take it away.
Great. I'm going to get this up in presentation mode. Hi, everyone. I am super excited to be here and talk about social advertising, specifically leveraging your Facebook pages. So the first thing I want to do is a little poll. So if you can type into the chat, how many of you use social media in your personal lives? Type yes or no into the chat box.
Got lots of yeses coming in.
Okay, great. I don't think I can actually see the chat box after I said that. So you'll have to report back what everybody says.
Yeah, rest
I'm sure
they are mostly yeses.
Okay, and how many of you use social media for your business currently?
Quite a few no's.
Quite a few no's. Okay, that's kind of what I was expecting.
A couple yes.
All right, well, this presentation is designed to talk about the benefits to leveraging Facebook and potentially LinkedIn, depending on kind of your level of interest in diving into the social world. I've got lots of pros and cons, best practices, some recommendations as far as how you can kind of conquer the world that is Facebook. And then at the end, I also talk about our company at 2060 Digital and how we might be able to support you should you be interested in that as well. So if you have any questions, like Jess mentioned, please drop those into the question box and we'll leave time at the end for Q&A. So as Jess mentioned, I am here with my partner, Jason Budzik. He and I both work for Hubbard Interactive as well as 2060 Digital. Our contact information is here should you have any questions, and I'll share this presentation with Jess as well so you guys can have access to us if you have any follow-up after the call today. So the first question I'm going to pose is why social media? So social media, as you'll see on the screen here, kind of fits right in the middle of the customer journey funnel. That's this image you see. We talk a lot with our clients. 2060 Digital is a full-service digital agency. So everything you're seeing on this funnel here, we serve as a we sell as a service. But social media is a really sweet spot because it's both, you know, brand awareness, the recognition, the hear, see, think portion, but it also can have those do components as well. And there's some statistics later on in the presentation that support that. And so social is a really great way to start advertising your business because it is both brand awareness as well as conversion metrics. So that is why I love social so much, especially when you're thinking about the way in which people use insurance. It is a very social process, looking for recommendations, asking around who other people are using. So social media just, is a great channel to partake in that kind of conversation. And that is, in fact, what social media is for, is igniting those conversations in that discussion. So looking at statistics on how insurance agents are using social media, heavily in the Facebook space. So 65% of insurance agents are using Facebook to promote their business. 46% are on LinkedIn and 34% are on Twitter, which I'm sure if I had asked you what types of channels you were using, it would skew in this fashion. So how the world is using Facebook and social media. So globally, there are 2.38 billion monthly active users on Facebook. 1.56 billion active users log in every single day. So when you talk about an audience, there is lots of opportunity to reach the people that you want to get in front of. Facebook advertising in particular has a great targeting feature to make sure that you're not just sending that message out to all 2.4 billion people, but rather the individuals that make the most sense for your business. There are over 80 million small businesses globally that use Facebook pages, and I have pulled up a little quick tutorial I can show you. If you do not currently have a page set up for your business, I can give you a quick rundown on how to do that, and we'll do that a little bit later. And then Facebook is the second most used platform globally, followed by YouTube. Around 43% of US adults get news from Facebook, so updates on policy changes and information they need to know about insurance policy is definitely something that they're going to be getting from Facebook. 20% of people will read text on a page, but 80% of people will watch a video. So leveraging the video platform within Facebook is definitely a great tool for promoting your business, telling a story, giving quick information sessions. It definitely is something that not everyone is super comfortable with. If you're sitting there thinking, there is no way in hell I'm going to take a video of myself and post it on Facebook, maybe I can change your mind. But Facebook video is definitely a great way to tell your story and share information with your audience. 93% of marketers say they've converted a lead due to video on social media. So again, just really harping on the importance of video in this modern day. And then finally, branded content on social media is twice as likely to interest people between the ages of 55 and 64 than those who are 28 and younger. So again, branded content, sharing that information about your business and your brand is really important. And defining your brand can be done very well through Facebook. And it's not as difficult as I'm sure you're thinking it is. It can be. If it wasn't difficult, Jason and I wouldn't have jobs because we do take over that for some folks. But there are ways that you can get, at an entry level on Facebook and do it in a very professional manner. So here are my tips for how to Facebook like a pro. Be consistent. Schedule your posts. So one of the biggest challenges we see with our clients on a regular basis is that, they might post to their social media page once a month or once a quarter, and that just isn't enough. You need to make sure that you are being consistent with your messaging and giving people updates on a regular basis so that, one, the Facebook algorithm knows that you're sharing relevant and interesting data, and two, that your people don't lose touch and that they are engaging with your page. Now, I know that can be very cumbersome. So one of my recommendations is to leverage a social scheduling platform such as Buffer. The reason I selected Buffer as an example, because there are lots of others, is Buffer is a free service. So you can log on to buffer.com and set up a free subscription. You can manage up to, I think it's 4 or 5 social pages, which you'll never need that many. And you can schedule up to 30 posts at a time on the free version. So when you think about scheduling out your month of posts, 30 is a lot. That's 1 per day. And best practice on Facebook is to never do more than 1 per day. But I would say in that 3 to 5 times per week is a good best practice as far as updates to Facebook. So when I say 3 to 5 times per week, I'm not talking about original content. I am not telling you to go out and come up with 30 very witty and humorous posts on your own, but it's all about curating content as well. So it's not just writing new posts from yourself, but also finding other industry leaders and sharing their information with your audience. So when you're thinking about scheduling all of those posts out, it should be a combination of that content creation and content curation on Facebook. And that makes it really easy, especially using Buffer. You open up 2 tabs, you can copy and paste URLs into Buffer and write a little blurb about the article you're sharing, and away you go. So I definitely recommend looking into Buffer. It just helps take the heavy lifting off of scheduling Facebook posts for sure. Moving on to my second tip for how to Facebook like a pro, stay cohesive in your design and in your voice. So going back to that, consistency is important, getting your message out there, but then there also needs to be some cohesion. So making sure that if you are posting graphics that you've created, you include your logo. If it's, trying to have a certain tone of voice, I'm not sure how many of you are familiar. One of the easiest examples of this is Wendy's Twitter. I'm not sure if you've heard about Wendy's Twitter, but if you haven't, definitely Google that, because they do a really good job of establishing a brand voice. They are very snarky and witty and, dare I say, a tad bit rude in their responses to people that post hateful messages about Wendy's. But they own it, and they've kind of leaned into that. And I'm not saying that you need to have an attitude with your followers. Obviously, that is not the case. But be mindful about the types of things that you're posting, and try to keep that cohesive voice and look and feel on all things you post. And so anybody out there that's thinking to themselves, I am not a graphic designer and I have no idea how to even begin, I very much recommend Canva. Canva, as you see here, is it's a design software, but use design very lightly. It really is a resource center where you can pull images and icons. You can upload your logo directly into Canva and place it on different images and icons. And it's another free tool. So there is a paid version, as with most platforms, but you really can do a lot of work on the free version, and it just allows you to kind of take the guesswork out of what size does my graphic need to be. As you can see in the screenshot here on the right-hand side, there is a box that says social media above it. If you click that box, it puts the graphic into the dimensions that are preferable for Facebook, LinkedIn. You can choose your platform, which is really great. And again, it just gives you a nice way of presenting graphics and making sure that you're using consistent type images. I could talk all day. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
We actually do use Canva for Cornerstone. We use it all the time, and we will be holding another webinar later this year for anybody who's interested about using services like this to come up with a cohesive brand. So keep your eye out for that registration link as well, because we will be going in a little bit more detail about something that's exactly like this.
Yeah, Canva is great. I just cannot endorse Canva enough. It really is very user-friendly. So I have a communication background. I have never taken a graphic design course, but I think I'm quite the little Picasso when I'm on Canva creating beautiful designs. And it's really easy, very intuitive, really not difficult at all. If you can use a Word document, you can use a Canva. And if you can't use a Word document, I would gladly teach you how to use Canva, because it might even be easier than a Microsoft Word. And then my third kind of tips, tricks, and best practices is narrow your focus. So I see this, this kind of behavior in both small businesses as well as large organizations. Staying consistent on 4 social media platforms, and there are so many more than 4, but I'm using these kind of big 4 as the example, is really difficult. So for example, best practice on Facebook is posting 3 to 5 times a week. Best practice on LinkedIn is 3 to 5 times per week. Best practice on Twitter is 6 tweets per day, and best practice on Instagram is 1 image per day. So when you add all of that up, it is a full-time job to manage these social media platforms and do them really well. So my recommendation is pick the one that you like, pick the one that you're using in your personal life, and think about your audience. If you are targeting that elder demographic, I would definitely tell you to stick to Facebook. Twitter and LinkedIn are great in a professional setting, but I think the social aspect of Facebook and the audience that is on there is going to probably be your best fit. Instagram is great for targeting younger folks, think millennial and younger. Not saying that there aren't others that are on the platform, but definitely when you're evaluating what platform you want to participate on, think about your audience, think about what you enjoy, because there is nothing worse than forcing yourself into something that you can't stand. When you are engaging on these platforms, it's best to try to embrace them and be passionate about them. That's when you see kind of that enjoyment come out in the things that you're posting and in your practice. So I definitely would not recommend having all of these platforms. I definitely am a big proponent of picking one and sticking with it and doing one thing really well. And then as you grow, maybe you take on support to help you manage the other platforms also. Jess, have there been any questions so far?
Not just yet. Usually they come at the end.
Okay, perfect. Just checking. So social media management, when you talk about outsourcing social media management and what a company like 2060 Digital does, we partner with our clients, both big and small, to take over all of those things that I just described. So we are going to be both your content creation and content curation. We are your eyes and ears in your industry to see what's going on and what we can use to then post to your social networks. We also then manage the paid advertising portion. So unfortunately, Facebook, LinkedIn are both paid to play spaces, especially when you're a small business. What that means is that there are ad platforms, and I am going to cut away here shortly to the Facebook platform itself and show you kind of how you can build out your Facebook page. And that boosting the advertising on Facebook is really lucrative. And so we help our clients do that as well. Listening and responding. When you are posting regularly and you're seeing high engagement from users, you want to make sure that you are responding to any comments or reviews that you get. Now, unfortunately, we live in a space where the negative comments are far above any of the positive comments, but that's okay. My recommendation is respond to all of them. Be mindful of what you're responding, because we live in an age where if I am doing my research and I'm on a business page and I see a negative comment, what most people are going to look for is that company listening to that feedback? And so when people are, leaving these negative comments, are folks then responding to and saying, we hear you, we're so sorry about your experience, we're doing X, Y, Z to make it better. So that listening and responding component is really important, especially just in the expectation anymore that people take to social media to make sure those companies hear their grievances. And again, this is happening on a much higher level, and you might not experience that at all, but you just want to be aware if it does happen to make sure that you are replying to those comments. The other component of social media management that we cover is graphic design. So we'll take out the Canva piece of it for you and design graphics that are clean and on brand, and again, cohesive throughout all of your messaging. We also have the opportunity to run sweepstakes and contests, and this is unique to our market because, as I mentioned at the very beginning, Jason and I work for Hubbard Interactive at the highest level, and Hubbard owns Q102, B105, Mix 94.9, and 97.3 The Wolf here in Cincinnati, and we have over 300,000 followers on our social media platforms. And so when we partner with other organizations, we can run sweepstakes and contests on our station pages that then can help grow your recognition and your brand awareness here in Cincinnati. And then the final piece to this social media management slide is that video component. Again, video is great. It does not have to be, when we talk video, it doesn't have to be a highly produced, super professional video. Some of the highest engagement are truly just a selfie on your cell phone. Anymore, cell phone technology with video and cameras is so high quality that you can record yourself on your phone and post it. And maybe it's just a 30-second, tip of the day, a best insurance practice or something that people need to be thinking of with administration changes or, whatever information that you could deem valuable to your audience. If you just video yourself, it's a great way to get video content on your Facebook pages. And so before I go any further, I am going to get out of this slide here for a second and jump over to Facebook directly. So I built a Facebook page, and I'm going to show you, if you do not have currently a Facebook page, how you can set up one. It's very simple. Up here on the top bar, you just click Create, and then the very first option is Page. So to create a page, you just choose a name for it. So for the purpose of this demonstration, I chose Kelsey's Insurance Company. And this is what a brand new page looks like. So the first step, you add a profile picture. So that can be your logo or a picture of yourself, whatever you want your business profile to look like. I'm going to skip that for now. The second step is going to be to add a cover photo. So with a cover photo, a lot of times you'll see, again, branding, so getting your logo or your company name in that cover photo. And again, on Canva, they have all of these preset dimensions on there, so you don't have to guess how big or small that graphic needs to be. You can select the cover image option and then select stock photography from Canva and upload that directly to your Facebook. But we definitely recommend when one of the first things that we do, and it's back in the PowerPoint presentation, is we look at all of our clients' social pages and do a social media audit. And an optimized profile picture and cover photo are one of the first things that we do. I'm sure that you have all seen Facebook pages, both personal and professional, that have either a pixelated image or you can't see the entire logo in the picture, or things are cut off. And that's because there are certain dimensions that those profile pictures and cover photos need to be. And if you're not adhering to those dimensions, your profile will not be optimized. And so we definitely recommend making sure that those two options are optimized for Facebook. And again, Canva is a great way to achieve that. So if we skip the add a cover photo option, you will see this is my page. So it gives you the option. You can invite your friends. So if you'll see on the right-hand side, if I want to invite most of my family to like my Kelsey's Insurance Company Facebook page, you can do so. They'll get a message asking them to like the page. It's a great way to kind of build that foundation of your business, and who better to support you than your friends and family in your newest business endeavor. So some other features of the business page, and I feel like this could be a section where there might be lots of questions. So if there are any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And again, feel free to reach out if you have any follow-up. But you can turn off instant replies, turn on or off instant replies. So if you know you're only going to be checking your Facebook page maybe once or twice a week, you can set up an instant reply that says, "Thank you so much for contacting me. For immediate responses, please direct any questions to my email address," which is a great feature so that you don't have to feel like you have to live on Facebook. It can definitely just be a channel for getting folks to where you are more frequently, whether that be by phone or email. On top of that, if we go up here to edit page info, it'll take you to kind of the back end setup. So you can write a short description of what your business is. You can provide your contact information, your website, your email. You can put in a physical address if you have a business office. You can set hours so that you can have away messages if you know you only work 9 to 5, and outside of those business hours, you want to have an away message on telling folks to reach you in another way. That's an option. You can also put in information as far as if you have a certain price range. That's more so for, like, you see that a lot in the food industry. And then on this left-hand side, all of these different components are just further settings that you can adjust. So there are templates within Facebook where you can set up your page. And because I have named it Kelsey's Insurance Company, Facebook's picked up that I'm offering a service. So it's chosen the service template, but if I wanted to change that, I could click here and look through the different types of templates that there are. And really what that template means is it's going to give you a default tab option. So, you know, if service is important, review is important, maybe you're offering a special offer for a month, you want to promote your community involvement, so you want photos to be important, but you can drag and drop what these different things, you know, shop might not be relevant, so you can just turn that tab off. But lots of ways to customize your page and get, you know, as much or as little information on there as you want. Then within Facebook, if you had gone to Buffer and you said, you know, oh, this is too complicated, within Facebook, you can also schedule posts. So in publishing tools, they give you a calendar option where you can create posts. So if I were creating a post, I would click here on create. I would then write a post. And then I can schedule it. So on the scheduling feature, I can choose that this is going to go out today at 12 p.m. and then schedule. So again, lots of ways to kind of schedule and curate that activity if you are not wanting to have to update every single day what you're doing on social media. So I will schedule that post. You will see that it appears in my scheduled post. So if you're, you know, building that out for a month at a time, you can go back and look at the different things that you have scheduled. And then in the advertising space, if I go back to my page, actually, I'm going to post on my page. So ask me and all questions you may have, and I can share now. So now that I have posted to my page, I will have the option of boosting posts. And so you see this little button here on the right-hand side, and a boosted post means that I can reach folks who are not currently following my page. So there are two types of posts when you're thinking about social media. The first being an organic post, meaning this post right here that says, ask me any and all questions you have. And the second is going to be a paid post. So paid and organic are two different types of posts, and you can turn an organic post into a paid post by using this boost option. And so it's a great way, you know, right now, Kelsey's Insurance Company doesn't have any followers, so you need to get your message out there, and you can do so through the boost post option. So then once you're in the boost post category, you can choose who you're targeting. So if I want to target women ages 50 and older, living in Cincinnati, and you'll see as I am narrowing my focus here, this meter down here at the bottom is telling me how defined my audience is. So you never want it to be too broad. You don't want it to be in that yellow space, but you also don't want it to be in the red. So you don't want to get too specific. If I had typed in, you know, I'm only interested in women ages 55 and older who have one brown eye and one blue eye, that would be too specific, right? You want to make sure that you're keeping it broad enough, but targeting to an audience that makes sense for you. So you can also add in homeowners, as an interest. So again, too specific. So we need to add in some more pet owners, and you can just, you know, work on what types of interests make sense for your business, and you can put in lots of different parameters. And then once I have an audience that I like, I can hit save. Then you can set your budget, and this is a really great feature on Facebook. You can spend as much or as little as you want. So, you know, right now it's a $10 budget running for 5 days, starting today and ending on February 9th. So spending $2 per day, and Facebook is telling me I'm estimated to reach 160 to 470 people per day. Obviously, as you increase that spend, if we were to go up to $50, your estimated people per day reach goes up. So there's a lot of flexibility as far as setting up these ads and running boosted posts and managing, what types of things you're running and advertising on Facebook. And again, you have all of that control on the spend. If you only want to run an ad for 2 days, you can refine it even further. So that is a very quick and brief Facebook tutorial. I'm sure there will be questions on that later, so we'll come back if we need to. But jumping back into the presentation, as I mentioned, when we partner with someone on social media management, the first thing we do is run a social media audit. And so this audit gives you an idea of the things that we look at. So Facebook page verified, this is actually an aspect of Facebook that I believe is set to go away in 2020. But once you have a business, you can verify your page by providing like energy bills or other approved documents through Facebook to get a verification check saying that you are who you say you are. Facebook Pixel installed. Facebook Pixel is a piece of code that goes on your website and captures people that visit your website and then targets them through Facebook. So that would be leveraged if you were running a paid strategy. And so then the follow-up question to that is there a paid strategy in place? Is there an optimized profile and cover image, which is what we discussed earlier? Organic post frequency. So again, are you hitting that 3 to 5 times per week frequency? And maybe it's a little lower at first. Maybe you're only posting once per week or twice per week. But again, the best practice is to be in that 3 to 5 per week space. And then primary type of content. Are you sharing articles? Are you posting pictures? Are you doing video? We look at that to make recommendations as far as what we would recommend you beef up or ramp down. And then are user reviews and comments addressed? Again, going back to my point about the listing and responding, it is really important that you are responding to and acknowledging those posts, both positive and negative. And then what's your count of Facebook followers? Because of the ad platform in Facebook, it is definitely good to grow that Facebook following. It's not impossible to get your message out there without a large following, and that's what the ad strategy helps you do is, again, grow your followers and get in front of people that maybe don't know you yet. But it is important to be watching those followers grow, and hopefully over time you are increasing that number of Facebook followers. So paid advertising, when we partner with our clients, we are looking at the demographics and geographic information that they want to target. If you have any emails, you can upload your email database into Facebook and create lookalike audiences. What that allows you to do is target individuals that match the behaviors of those email addresses. So there is a lot of data out there on all of us and our online behavior, and by using our email addresses, Facebook can tell us a lot about ourselves. Again, the Pixel allows us to retarget from website, and again, the creating lookalike audiences off of your existing customer data is a great way to kind of take the guesswork out of who you should be advertising to. Here are some creative examples of work that we've done at 2060, and we have a staff of graphic designers here that do all of this, and some of these are pretty advanced, but there are also some that are pretty simple, and the simpler ones you definitely could create on Canva yourself. It might take some practice runs, but I do believe in all of you and think that you could definitely achieve that. But these are some examples of just what types of posts are good for social media. You'll see that every company has a little bit different style or look, and that is, you want to pick your type and your style and then stick to it, going back to my point on cohesion and making sure that everything looks consistent across all of your posts. So then to kind of summarize in 2060 and how we partner with small business owners, we were founded 2012, and we started in the social media management space. So it's definitely a bread and butter product in our world. But we've since launched into anything and everything digital. So we are a full suite digital agency owned by Hubbard Radio and Hubbard Interactive. We have locations in Chicago, Washington, D.C., Cincinnati, St. Louis, Minneapolis, Phoenix, Seattle, and West Palm. And our whole organization includes both television, radio, the Reels channel, and then also this digital component. So we have grown over the last 8 years, but still very much pride ourselves on partnering with individuals that own small businesses and helping them grow. And we are happy to talk about partnerships and how we might be able to support you if you have watched this presentation and thought to yourself, there ain't no way. We're happy to have that conversation with you. One of the reasons why our clients stick with us, if you'll see on the slide, we have a client retention rate of 94%. It's because we do build our programs to make sure we are meeting you where you are. So as a company, we do have certain minimums that we have to adhere to. However, we like to start small and grow with your business. So if you're interested in having a conversation around how you could partner with 2060, we definitely be open to it. And then, like I said, we're happy to discuss kind of what our best practice minimums are. And that is all I have for you. So we can open it up for conversations for the last 25 minutes.
Okay, great. Yeah, we have some time for a Q&A. So if you have any questions, you can type them into the question box. I do have a couple of questions for you, Kelsey. So my first question is, there's a lot going on in the Facebook world with Mark Zuckerberg and everything, and I just want to ask what the staying power of Facebook is at this time.
That's a great question. So at this time, while there has been a lot of turmoil and a lot of scrutiny on the targeting and the data sharing, in the foreseeable future, Facebook is not going anywhere. Mark Zuckerberg just this past week came out saying that Facebook as an organization is going to try to fight some censorship. And I mean, I think that in the long run, he is still committed to providing a social platform. Not to say that it couldn't ever go away. I mean, shout out to everybody that at one time had a Zynga page. But, again, for the foreseeable future, Facebook's going to be around. It's growing and shifting and morphing into different platforms every day. But, I don't see it changing anytime soon.
And I find that that's the same with a lot of different social platforms. I think that there's kind of an ebb and flow with a lot of platforms. Twitter, for example, over the last couple years has kind of spiked, I think, a little bit more in use, where it was kind of dipping for a while. So I feel like it just kind of ebbs and flows throughout the year. So it's always good to have a presence if you can.
Yeah, so like Twitter, for example, definitely skews male over female and has a really dominant play in the financial space. And that's kind of what you see with different platforms and the variety of social networks we have available is people can kind of find their channel. So I would say Facebook definitely is the draw to small business owners, especially relationship-based businesses. You see a lot of realtors, a lot of insurance agents kind of dominating the Facebook space, whereas financial analysts, CPAs, CFAs are going to be on the Twitter space, sharing all of their financial information. And then you have a lot of product-based, so think beauty and clothing on Instagram where they can showcase their product, very visual-based products. So you see kind of every platform serving its purpose for that industry that it serves best.
Yeah, I have a couple other questions. As a small business, how much money should I expect to spend per month on advertising if that's the route that I choose to take? So that would be the question of how much would you want to spend in order for it to be actually worth your money at that point?
Yeah, that's a great question. So here at 2060 Digital, our perspective in when we set up an ads-only campaign, because we do both social media management as well as ads-only partnerships, our minimum for an ads-only investment is $1,000 per month. Now, mind you, that includes our management fee. So the spend to network is right around $750 per month, and we view that investment level as kind of our investment as far as how we can reach the audience that you want and grow, the number of followers that you want to get in front of. So that's our rule of thumb. The reason we set those minimums is because we want to make sure that we are giving ourselves enough budget to optimize ads. And when you break down $750 across a month, that's only $25 a day. And you saw, at the $5 a day, you're only reaching a couple hundred people. And so you definitely want to make sure that that audience reach is big enough to make an impact. So we have set that standard to be that $1,000 minimum in social ads. Now, again, if you're doing it yourselves, that takes it down to $750. But I think, starting out, if you have the ability to invest anywhere between $250 and $500, you're going to see an increase. You should at least see an increase. If you're not seeing an impact at that investment level, I definitely would ask some questions about how you can optimize. I've had some clients that run other types of digital with us, so we don't just do social media, but they run some Google ad campaigns with us and keep their social components in-house. And they traditionally run anywhere between $300 to $500 on their own as being kind of a healthy budget for the month. But it all kind of varies, and your ad spend is just one component to it, unfortunately. You also have to be watching the ad and making optimizations throughout the month. And that's the type of service that you get when you're partnered with a company like 2060, is we're going to be watching that and making sure, do we need to narrow our audience? Do we need to broaden our audience? What types of ads are you running? It's just such a complex network. It can be very simple, and there are definitely ways to take advantage of the simplicity of it, but at the same time, we can make it very complicated as well. And one of the examples of a complexity of the ad space is all graphics that you run through Facebook ads have to have 20% or less text. So you definitely want to focus on making sure that you're adhering to Facebook best practices from an ad standpoint, that when you're creating that visual, you aren't going to be, dinging yourself, because Facebook won't run ads that have a ton of text. It really needs to be very visual based. And so again, that's another way that 2060 can help support you, is by creating the ads themselves. If after these 40 minutes you're thinking, wow, this is way too complicated.
Okay. I did also have somebody asking for the phone number for 2060 to get in contact with you guys.
Yeah. So my desk line is 513-699-5052.
All right, and I'll go ahead and put that in the chat for anybody who is interested in getting in contact with Kelsey. So that's there for everybody if you need that. I have a couple more questions. So one question was, how do I actually get followers? So you've asked your friends and your family, how do you go past that and start gaining some more interest in your page?
Yeah, that is a great question. So I definitely recommend using that invite feature. And don't invite, I would recommend inviting people that are either in your geography or that would fit. Obviously, like very close friends and family are definite shoo-ins. But outside of that, there are a couple ways that you can go about getting followers. Both the paid component, so there are certain ad types that increase reach, which reach is number of people that see the ad, and then they are optimized to get people to like and follow your page. So that's kind of the paid route. You can do the pay to play space, grow your following. Now the organic route and the slower roll to building a following on social media is to really come up with that unique thought-provoking, beneficial, educational type content that people share. So if you post something and, me as your follower reads it and I am, blown away, this is something that everybody needs to know about the insurance space, and I share that to my friends, now all of my friends are going to see your page, and they can go to your page and engage with that piece of content. Maybe they then share that content. And so, in that regard, content truly is king on a platform like Facebook, where if you can get that really meaningful and impactful information onto your page, people will share and engage with that post, and hopefully that also draws folks in. But you definitely want to have that value add. Why does somebody want to read this article? Why does somebody want to read my post? Why am I sharing this? What impact does it have on the people I'm sharing it to? And when you've nailed that, you will definitely grow your following.
Okay, and do I have to have a personal profile to have a business page?
That is a great question. Yes, unfortunately you do. So way back when Facebook first started, you could set up a profile as a business, but as they have changed the platform, now in order to have a business page, you have to have a personal page. However, that personal page really doesn't have to have anything on it. You just have to have that Facebook account that you then set up the page through. So you can still, create a personal Facebook account and have it be your business name, but then you build a page off of that account. So if I go back here to, I have my personal Facebook here linked, but in order, if I had this set up as Kelsey's Insurance Company and that was my Facebook page name, I would still want to create a page because that's how you identify yourself to Facebook as a business. On a personal Facebook page, so if I were to go to my personal page here, I cannot have ads running from my personal page. So you would have to have one of these business or brand page in order to run ads through Facebook.
Okay, and I had a question here, and I'm hoping it makes sense. How much more is the spend to jump from ads only to setting up site?
Okay, so our social media management package is $1,900. That's our kind of standard package. It includes a number of posts per week, a number of monitoring and responding per week, as well as allocated ad spend. So we build a content calendar out that shows you what the post would be for the month. You have final say and approval on that. It also includes branded graphics. So I believe at the $1,900 mark, you're looking at 2 branded graphics per month. And then we work with you to make sure that, we've set up a good cadence if you're doing any of the posting, or sometimes we take over a Facebook page and run it in its entirety. Sometimes we partner with individuals and maybe we post twice per week and they post once per week. So there's lots of ways to set up that relationship, but that minimum investment for social media management is $1,900 per month.
Okay, great. And then I have one more question here, and if anybody has any last-minute questions, you can type them into the question box. What do I post that would be best for our industry, so the health insurance industry?
Yeah, so I think in healthcare, definitely tips, tricks, utilizing lists. If you can list, top 3 things that people forget when choosing a healthcare provider or choosing a health insurance provider. I think just given the climate and the political nature of insurance right now, and health insurance in particular, I think any kind of knowledge that you can pass on to, somebody that is just a good Samaritan, citizen who might not know something about the insurance industry, or like, what are the biggest mistakes you see people make? I think that those types of headlines are going to be the most interesting to users. So thinking about, sometimes you have to remind yourself, you are the expert. And so think about, and I'm going to tread lightly here with this, but think about your dumbest client, right? Your dumbest customer. what do they need to know? And what did they not know before your partnership that you could then share with everybody else? Like, you kind of have to think about, like, don't make assumptions that people know things, because more than likely they don't if they haven't been in that space or haven't had, XYZ happen to them. So how do you help that individual? And here's another thing that I think sometimes business owners are slow to share is, you want to establish credibility and you want to show people. Don't be afraid to give away some of that knowledge. Definitely don't give away the whole cow, right? But you can give away half the cow. You can entice them with information. I mean, I think, use this presentation as an example. I am happy to help you set up your Facebook page and get that brand launched. But I know at the end of the day, unless you have somebody that is truly an expert in Facebook, that is living, breathing every single day, you're never going to be able to truly be a Facebook master, because there is so many little tiny complexities. Definitely not required to do well on Facebook, but if you really want to optimize your page, you need help from a professional, right? And I think that you can apply that same notion to your healthcare insurance space. Think about, what can I get people to show them I know what I'm talking about, I can provide insights and relevant information, and I am knowledgeable. And then, how do I hook them in to be like, this is, these are the things you should be considering. If you want to talk more, contact me. So I definitely think that that's, when you're thinking about what to post and how to bring people in, that would be my advice.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also would say anything that shows that you're getting involved with your community as well, especially if you are like a community figure in that sense, showing how you like to be a part of the community, how you're helping out. Things that are a little bit more personal also helps as well. All right. Do we have any additional questions? I'll give it just a couple seconds here. All right, looks like that's all the questions that we have for today. So if you have anything else that you'd like to ask, just feel free to contact me at jlarkin@crnstone.com, and I can put you in contact with Kelsey, or can help you answer your question. Don't forget to register for our other upcoming webinars in this series and our others. So the next webinar is going to be Tom Levine's Tech Tuesday, which will cover Excel basics, and you won't want to miss that one. And we also have a individual corner with Jeff Beglin with special guests and better. So you can register for those webinars and future webinars on the new Cornerstone website at www.crnstone.com/events. All right, thank you all for joining us today. You will receive a copy of this presentation in the next day or two, and it's going to be available on the Resource Center at www.crnstone.com. And if you have a couple minutes after the webinar, please take a minute to fill out the survey that we've prepared. Your feedback is incredibly important to us and ensures that we are continually providing you value with this webinar series. And thank you to Kelsey for offering your expertise today. Like I said,
thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, her number is in that chat box. So if you want to get in contact with her, you can use that number there. And everyone, have a great day. Thank you, Kelsey.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.